For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah. This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Yes! Palm Readers Unite. Follow the Money. Paulie Howard, Mike Paul. Mitch back tomorrow. Sirius XM Channel 158 live downtown Las Vegas from beautiful Circle Resort and Casino, CircleLasVegas.com. The champ, Derek Stevens, in studio to talk about contests in the NFL schedule. Tony Rizzo, live from Cleveland, do or die for the Cavs. Dennis Bernstein to talk pucks. Kelly Bidlin, PGA in 45 minutes. Win, lose, you cannot be serious. Props, picks, playoffs, a lot to get to. Maestro, we always got something to talk about. We'll get to the NFL schedule with the odds as well, and we'll touch on the Knicks beating the Celtics again. But all the fun started right when we got off the air with the nonsense with the NBA draft lottery again. Mathematically impossible what has happened going back since 1992 with this dog and pony show. Of course, Dallas, who loses their franchise player in one of the worst trades in NBA history or in sports. Oh, we'll help you out here and you get flagged. 1.8% chance. There's so many examples of this where how it just conveniently works out for some of these teams. And Charlotte, no soup for you. Washington, second best odds. You pick sixth. And Utah's never picked one. They have never improved either. Again, some of this stuff is just mathematically impossible. And Dallas gets there, 1.8%. San Antonio also moves up. The odds that it would come Dallas, San Antonio, Philly was 0.001%. Give me a break. And of course, it worked out for Philly as well after another disastrous season where they even keep their pick and they jump up to number 3 in a pretty good draft. And now the Spurs are in position with a ton of assets to get a marquee player. And then, I know the reports are Dallas said they're going to hold on to the pick. But certainly you could play ball if you're the Mavs because you have a short window here with AD and Kyrie hurt if you want to win right now, Maestro.
You'd go for Giannis.
Absolutely.
You would.
I would trade the pick if I'm Dallas.
Even though you think Flagg's going to be 15 years and eight-time All-Star.
You take the under? Okay.
Yeah, I'll take the under.
The under.
Well, I don't know. It works out nice for the fan bases there, right? Save the fan base in Dallas.
Right.
Support the fan bases in Philly and San Antonio where you have strong fan. And these other places that don't have big fan bases, well, you fell down again.
I know. How am I supposed to improve? Yeah, they didn't have a sellout other than when Luka came back with the Lakers, Dallas. How am I supposed to improve if this is the Mickey Mouse format, right? Charlotte hasn't won a playoff series since 2003.
They're a soccer town.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it now.
Utah never improved. Timberwolves never improved. And everyone in the top 3 dropped, and the teams 10 and 11 move up. So this is just, I know people are also saying that I don't want to use the F word, but it certainly the whole thing stinks. And tinfoil hat guy checking in. But the other thing is people pointing out that moving up and what happened with Dallas and San Antonio, and then how you're going to get rid of this system entirely, where people are saying, well, this is what happens when you tank. And Silver hates this, and he's not going to reward teams that tank. And nobody tanked harder than Charlotte, Utah, and also Philadelphia down the stretch.
Well, Philadelphia is the number 1 tanker.
Absolutely.
And they get rewarded.
Yeah. Did work out for Philly. Oh, you're right about that. But the other two, no. But the big market and what happened with Philly, you're right. But this goes back. This was David Kahn when he was the general manager of the Timberwolves. When he was down in the top 3 with Utah and the Cavs. I told Kevin O'Connor, executive with the Jazz, we were toast standing on the stage when the 14-year-old joined us, Gilbert's son. The 14-year-old was not going to be denied in a league that has a habit of compelling storylines. He said that. He said that while he was working with the Timberwolves. And the odds, someone ran the odds about the Timberwolves going 0 for 11 and never moving up. 1 in 10,462. And they missed out on Shaq. They missed out on Kyrie. From 92 to 95, they had the best odds or the second best odds to get the number one pick. They only picked top 3 one time. And then to Khan's point about the habit of compelling storylines in the NBA, the Cavs lose LeBron. They immediately get the number one pick. The Pelicans lose Anthony Davis. They immediately get the number one pick. LeBron's coming back to Cleveland again to help him out. They get the number one pick, which was Wiggins, and they traded that for Love. And then Luka, with the fan base furious and ready to riot, they trade Luka, and now they get the number one pick with a 1.8% chance. It looks terrible for the league. It looks horrendous.
Yeah, but nobody cares after today, Paul. Let's just go play the games tonight, and everybody will be happy. You're worried about Minnesota. They're on the doorstep of their second straight Western Conference Finals.
Oh, yeah.
Live in the moment, Paul. Live in the moment.
Oh, man.
Well, you'll have something to talk about now. What will Dallas do? Who's going to go after Freak? All that. Nice storylines.
Spurs top 4, 3 years in a row. It continues to work out for them.
Well, hopefully that team president can do something with it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah. But Orlando in 93, 1.5% chance. The Cavs in 2014, 1.7%. The Bulls in 08, 1.7%. Cavs in 2011, 2.8%. Atlanta last year, 3%.
How often do you hit a 50 to 1, a 70 to 1, and 80 to 1?
Yeah, good call.
How often do you hit that?
It's ridiculous. They just I do away with the system. And I know a lot of people said this as well. Why is Dallas even in this thing? If they beat Memphis, they're in the playoffs. So a team that was in the play-in, that won a game and went to Sacramento, gets the number one pick, as opposed to these doormats and all these terrible teams here with Charlotte, Utah, Washington, and the list goes on and on and on.
That's interesting. If you're in the play-in, you're not in the lottery.
I think that's a joke. Yeah. I know. Zach Harper, who was on with VSiN, Mad Dog Radio with Dustin Sweetelson and Patrick Maher. He's with SiriusXM NBA and also The Athletic on what he's hearing about this phony system.
The immediate reaction that I got in a lot of group chats I saw online is this isn't fair, right? And not just that Dallas got it. It's, hey, Utah's really bad. Hey, Washington's doing like kind of the good type of rebuild. They've got a lot of good young players. They're doing the right type of rebuild. 3 years in a row now, the worst team in the league has gotten the 5th pick in the draft, I believe, right? Like a lot of things of like, hey, this isn't fair. This isn't done right. We need lottery reform. And I've been for lottery reform for a while, but I'm a believer in the unweighted lottery. You miss the playoffs, you got a 1 in 14 chance. Like I think it eliminates tanking, all that stuff. I don't believe in the idea that it would lead to teams tanking out of the playoffs. I just don't think that's a real thing. Maybe it would happen like once out of every 10, 15 years. Other than that, I just don't think it's a reality. I think teams will go for the playoffs, go for that playoff revenue. And there's no incentive to keep losing games. You improve the product through, February, March, April, which is we're getting to a point where some of these games are truly unwatchable and you're not discounting the prices on the tickets at all. So to me, I think lottery reform is going to be something that is at least heavily discussed. I don't know if the league is going to take it all that seriously, but tanking's an issue. And if it's not leading to guys or to teams getting the number one pick or any kind of lottery luck, then what are they doing it for?
Yeah. Well, I'm for lottery reform as well. And I would go back up to the 25% with the worst record and go back up there as the 14%, what they're at now. So, some of this stuff is just ridiculous. Again, it's mathematically impossible. And I grew up in Minnesota. I remember the Timberwolves, and it's like, oh, we're going to get Shaq. Oh, we can get this guy. And you can't move up 11 times in a row. And then the GM actually comes out and says, oh, we have no shot. The kid with tumors who's 14 years old, we're dead on arrival, right? And that's how it turned out to be as well and how it worked out. But it's just, look at these numbers. It's 1%, 1%, 2%. Oh, my God. But you're going to continue to have tanking, though, because, as Mike said, it worked out for Philadelphia. And if they were to get jumped by 2 teams, they were going to lose their pick. But they moved up as well. So even though they got jumped by Dallas and San Antonio, as Tim Bontemps said from ESPN, imagine what they're thinking with Morey, with the Sixers, where you come out Dallas number 1, Spurs number 2. We have no shot. Oh, here we are, number 3, which would have been a disaster now. So even if Dallas keeps the pick and goes flag, which they'll probably do, then San Antonio either can take Harper or they can move the pick and try to get Freak or try to get someone else and make some moves. So just incredible. I love the reaction too, where we can't agree on anything, but everyone was so pissed when they saw this. Of course, it's going to be Dallas at 1.8%. And save things for the organization and the franchise and Nico. So now when you
Nico, he can't go wrong.
I know, right? Yeah, right.
He can't screw this up.
So essentially now the pick would include Flegg. So now it could be off the hook. But you got Kyrie out for the season, and who knows if AD can stay healthy. Smarter bets start here and last all year long with VSiN Pro. Limited time, slashing the price of our annual subscription, normally $240, now just $199. When you sign up today, we'll throw in 2 extra months for free. 14 months, VSiN Pro, less than 50 cents a day. Promo code PRO, 14 months of access with every best bet, every host, every guest, the betting splits, DraftKings, and Circa 24/7 live video and full show replays on the Watch app. VSiN.com/subscribe, code PRO. Lock in 14 months for just $199. VSiN.com/subscribe. Paul Bovey, Knicks fan, was at the game. He's on the show tomorrow. He said the last time the Knicks were favored to win the Eastern Conference was 1998. Makes sense. They haven't made the conference finals since 2000. The Knicks are plus 135 now. 3-1 series lead. What was more shocking, the lottery or what happened again to Boston and how it ended? The Celtics have led every game by 14 points. They're down 1-3, 3-1. They've led every game by 10 at the half. They're down 3-1. They've been up 20 points in 3 of the 4 games. They're down 3-1.
Told you first half, Paul. They run him out in the first half. That's a surprising third quarter, though.
Yes.
They got blitzed like that in the third quarter.
37-23.
That's shocking. That was the most shocking thing of the night.
Yes. And Brunson went off, and Tibbs stuck with the starters. And again, Boston just forgets how to play basketball. Let's not pass. Let's jack threes. Porzingis with the mysterious illness. Hey, I just paid $6 billion for the team. Tatum's out for the year. I have a $500 million payroll. I don't own the arena, and I'm walking into a $500 million payroll and all these injuries as well, and I can't even make the conference finals. More on the games tonight. Mitchell at shoot-around. Can the Cavs keep their season alive? Coming up on Follow the Money.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Talk some pucks with our friend Dennis Bernstein, fourthperiod.com, SiriusXM NHL. Follow him on X at Dennis TFP. He joins us now on the Progressive guest line. Good to talk hockey with you, Dennis. How you been, my friend?
Never better. We're in the second round. We're getting closer to the Cup final. Can't wait. It's been a great 2 rounds, and looking forward to talking to you guys about puck tonight.
Mike yesterday compared Hellebuyck to Clayton Kershaw. What is going on with this guy on the road? I can't believe Dallas only opened up $1.40 tonight. Last 9 road playoff games, 1-8 with a 5-2 goals against. Your level of confidence in the Jets and Hellebuyck tonight, and why is he so bad on the road?
0. No confidence. How can you make that play? Unless you say, okay, the trend is going, there's no way he can continue this. Sure he can. It's a mental block. That's what's going on. He's not physically hurt. The team, and they say, oh, they could play better in front of him. They haven't played that badly in front of him. He's deep in his net. He's not as aggressive as he was in the regular season. It's a situation where, people say it's cliche that it's different in the playoffs. It's not. Look at the change in this player. He's going to win the Vezina. He was the best goalie in the league, and he can't stop a beach ball right now. I can't play this game on the Jets. I can't. I play the over because I don't believe the guy can make saves. But this is a very, very crucial game for Connor Hellebuyck. He has to get this series even going back to Winnipeg, because if they go down 3-1 in the series, they're not rallying from 3-1. A lot's on his shoulders tonight in Dallas.
Dennis, we've all been very critical of Hellebuyck in the playoffs. But on the other side, you have Jake Ottinger, who I call a fake ace, who everybody puts up there at this very elite level, but he hasn't gotten it done in the playoffs. He hasn't been good enough. You get him to the Western Conference Finals, but he can't get him over the hump. This Dallas team, which they did a great job at the trade deadline, lost the last 7 games. They lose. They get blown out in the first game to Colorado. Somehow they steal that series with the Rantanen third period in Game 7. Yeah. They got the lead. They steal a pretty even game in Game 1 here. They've got the lead tonight. In a lot of books, they're the favorites right now to win the Stanley Cup. Yeah. The Dallas Stars. Do you agree with that favoritism?
The only reservation I have, Maestro, is what you just mentioned, Jake Oettinger. Because I remember last year against Edmonton, where they had a lead in that series and they blew it. And they had a lead in Game 6 and he blew it, and he didn't play well. That's the one reservation, because they're getting back Heiskanen back. And if you look at their defensive metrics with him in the lineup, and he missed 30, 40 games, they're way better defensively. So yes, there's a path to a cup victory for the Dallas Stars. What's probably staying in the way is a subpar performance from Jake Oettinger. And you're right, Meister. I don't trust the guy. That's the one reservation I got about this team, because they're clearly the deepest. Now they get back their best defensive. And the guy who's on a heater who's going to win the Conn Smythe and Mikko Rantanen. They check all the boxes. The one hesitancy I have is in goal.
So you like the Stars tonight? And everyone likes the Stars. Why not? Do you like anyone to score a goal?
I like the shot prop on Nikolai Ehlers over 2.5, because he's going to shoot the puck and they need to score goals. So, and I love Kyle Connor. So if there's an anytime goal prop, it's got to be Kyle Connor. He'll find a way to get one in the back of the net. Because I think I think you look at it's maybe 5.5 or 6 is the goal total. I think I'd lean towards the over in this game.
Okay. And if Edmonton, let's assume Edmonton wins tomorrow and Skinner plays well, what would you do in goal if you're Knoblauch moving forward?
I keep riding him.
Okay.
I keep riding him because he got his confidence back last night. Who gave him a lot of confidence? The Vegas Golden Knights.
Yes. Because
they didn't do crap back. They were so soft. And I picked Vegas in 6. I watched that game last night. The only highlight for Jack Eichel in the series was standing like a traffic cone when Connor McDavid went by him for the overtime goal. And where's Hertl? He looks like he's 70 years old. He looks slow. They've done a great job scouting this team, defending this team, and now he's got a confidence back. Now, if Skinner has a bad game in Game 5, would it go back to Calvin Pickard if they were healthy? Yeah, because I think this is the first time you might see in a very long time, fellas, that you have a tandem getting to the Stanley Cup final. I think it's while you would go with Skinner again because he had a good game, I really think the net situation in Edmonton is game to game.
Interesting. The news came down about 40 minutes ago. Luc Robitaille, it sounds like Hiller's going to come back. Rob Blake, the GM, was let go. Was Hiller on the hot seat because of Game 3? And then what happened with you after the game went viral? If you can take us through that.
Yeah, so what happened was the Kings blew leads in games 1, 3, and 4. They wound up winning game 1 on a great bounce in the last minute. They lost 3 and 4. They lost momentum and wound up losing the series. And I asked at the end of game 4 to Jim Hiller, given the way they blow leads in the series, is there anything you could do to change how you finish games? And he looked at me with disdain and went like that. He goes, we were 20 seconds away from winning, da-da-da. The next reporter asked a question, and he went back at me and said, "That's your favorite question." And I said it off mic. People didn't hear it unless you listen really close. I said it happened 3 times. They should have won that series. Yep. This was going to be the year they won the series. It's a better team, better goaltender, whatever. Right? Was he in jeopardy? I don't think so, because you can't throw out the baby with the bathwater, right? They had a 105-point season. It was tied a franchise record. They have probably 3 of the 4 core players they need right now in Byfield, Kempe, and Kevin Fiala. So there's a lot to look good for this team. And usually when a GM comes in, he could usually have his pick of a new coach. But Luc Robitaille said at the press conference earlier this week, Hiller's on the contract, so is the rest of the staff. He anticipates them coming back. But I'm assuming that with respect to the coach, a really short leash. Okay. This team expects to contend next season. They come out of the box the first 20 games, 9-11. You could see a coaching change if, in fact, Kenny Holland, who was the GM of the Edmonton Oilers, is now going to be GM of the LA Kings.
Everyone said it was the worst challenge they've ever seen. And then the decision to sit back in Game 4 with a 2-goal lead as well was atrocious.
Yeah, well, the decision on the video comes to the video judge upstairs. They thought there was enough, and it was really basically up to the coach. With respect to laying back, they've defended the coach, though, Paulie. They've said, we never have told by a coaching staff to sit back. Did you watch the game? They sat back.
Yeah.
They sat back. So the coach has got to tell them, keep pushing, keep trying to get that goal. And I get it. Like in game 4, Kevin Fiala hit the post with 4 minutes left. That could have turned the tide, but they're sitting at home. The Edmonton Oilers have gone on and could go on again. So, yeah, there was a lot of criticism of Jim Hiller, rightfully, for those decisions. I think he's going to survive, but I think he has a short leash here in Los Angeles next season.
Dennis, I need some betting advice from you. Tomorrow night in Toronto, it's probably the biggest game there since maybe 2002 when they made the Eastern Final against Carolina. I took the Panthers plus 190 in the series after game 2 because I said, what did Toronto do? They held home ice. Why would the series flip this much? Now I can get back plus 170 on Toronto. To me, this series is dead even. Both teams have been better in 2 of the games. Should I let it ride with the Panthers, or should I take it back, take the profit, and bet Toronto to win this series back so I have plus 190 and plus 175, I guess I get right now?
You're a very smart man, Maestro, but I have no faith in the Leafs. You let that team get off the deck.
Yeah, they did.
Down 0-2. All you have to do is split.
Yep.
And you let them off the deck. This is a championship team. And, of course, Brad Marchand got this team back in the series. No, I like the Panthers in 6 here to start. I wasn't too concerned when they went down 2-0 because the games were close. And, is Stolarz going to play for the Leafs? Wall's been good enough. I look at the pedigrees here, and I see one team that's won a championship and one team that gets out of the first round and never does any damage. Let it ride, Maestro. Keep on the Panthers.
Yep. What do you do with Stolarz? Berube said he's much better. Does he play him?
Yeah, he's their best goalie. If he's healthy, play him. Like, Wall did a good enough job, but not for nothing. Look, Austin Matthews obviously is not 100% physically, right? He hasn't scored a goal, right? So you need your big players to step up. You got to go with your best. You can't save Anthony Stolarz for October, Paulie. You got to play him now if he's healthy. You got to put him back in because he's your best option to win games.
Yeah. Oh, if he's healthy, no doubt. I'm with you on that. Now who meets in the Stanley Cup final?
Well, for my freaking 5 miles, I'll say Edmonton and Florida, but if I went an easy trip, I'll say Florida and Dallas. It's a 2-hour flight between cities.
No Carolina?
No, not enough offense. Not enough offense. Good enough to beat Washington.
Yeah.
Right, because Washington hasn't been there as a group before. But I think the lack of offense, you're starting to see it in games. I think they'll come back to bite them in the next round. So I like the winner of Florida and Toronto to get to the Cup final.
Thank you, my man. Good stuff. Talk to you soon. Be well. Thank you.
Thanks, Dennis.
It was a pleasure.
There it is. Dennis Bernstein, our progressive guest line at Dennis TFP on X, Sirius XM NHL. Connor, plus 160, anytime goal at DraftKings. Mentioned the shot prop as well. It's just, like we talked about yesterday, in 4 of the last 5 road games, he's been pulled. This year, he's 0-4 with a 6.65. And then 9 of the 10 road losses have been by 3+ goals. And he's given up 4 in those games, too, more than 4 or more in those games. He's right. He can't stop a beach ball.
I tell you, when he left the bench, when he got pulled early, or he got pulled at the end of the second period in St. Louis in game 4, I thought was a telltale sign about where this guy's head is on the road.
Yeah.
You don't leave the bench, Paul. You get pulled, you sit with your team.
He said all the right things after they beat the Blues, but this is headed sideways again.
2 goals in 2 minutes.
Good MLB card up next. We'll share you with great information, props, and you won't believe the run that Jackson Merrill's on coming up on Follow the Money.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Paulie Howard, Mike Paul, Mitch back tomorrow. Jeff Seeley to talk golf. Matt Humans and Tony Rizzo. Thanks for all the tweets, by the way. Seager just went on the IL about 10 minutes ago. So forget his props. Thanks for the tweets on that one as he's crushed it against Freeland, but no Seager tonight. We go out, the progressive guest line, our guy Tony Rizzo. Follow him on X, ESPN Cleveland on the progressive guest line. Gloomy Gus, I imagine. I mean, this factory of sadness in Cleveland. I was so excited for this series. I thought the Cavs had a great shot to go to the finals. Rizzo, what do you think now? You're an 8-point favorite, even though you're down 3-1 in the series. Take it away, kid.
All right, let me say this. If you'd have told me the Celtics weren't going to the Eastern Conference Finals, I would be like, oh, my God, it's our year.
Yep.
Guys, it's a confluence of things. Everybody wants to know why the Cavs are down 3-1. It's as much as you don't want to say it's injuries, it's attitude, it's mental toughness, it's physical toughness. There's a difference between winning in the regular season and winning in the postseason. That's the NBA. Cavs might have been built for the regular season, but not for the postseason. And I cannot believe they're down 3-1 tonight. Yep. I cannot believe it.
Yep.
I've got to believe they come through tonight. So Mitchell's going to play, okay, or try to play. But how effective is the question. And can they handle, if I'm Indiana, oh my God. And Rick Carlisle, I'll give him credit. He is outcoached. Yeah, the coach of the year, Kenny Atkinson. He's outcoached him in this series. His kids have been more physical, tough. They've been more mentally tough.
Yep.
And I cannot believe where the Cavaliers are right now. Cleveland is freaking out, guys.
Yep. Well, why'd you change your mind? I mean, because you said they were the real deal before the playoffs, and it was just between the injuries and what happened in the Game 2 debacle?
Yes. Two things. Number one, the injuries, 3 All-Stars are injured in this series. And come on, guys, it's mathematics. The other thing is that Game 2 loss, when you were up 7 points with 48 seconds left and you lost that game, can you mentally come back from that? I don't know. Now, I expect the best effort tonight at home. You know, Cavs don't want to go down on their own home floor. But can they win 3 games? Paulie, come on. That's asking a lot.
Well, you're a little bit doom and gloom here. I mean, Cleveland's been the better team in 2 games, 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. Indiana's been the better team in 2 games, 1 and 4. You proved you could win at Indianapolis here.
Yeah.
I mean, don't give up hope.
Mike Palm, you're a wise guy. And Vegas's line tells you all you need to know tonight. Yeah. But it would only be 1 game. Then you got to go to Indiana and win Thursday. And if there's a 7 in Vegas, you'd have to win there. That's asking a lot. Yeah. Could they win tonight? Yeah. I actually picked them to win tonight. I don't think they're going to go down, the number 1 seed on their home floor and national TV. I don't think they're going to go down tonight. But to win this series, you blew it in Game 2.
They did.
That was the difference.
They did.
It was.
To your point, too, though, what happened? This is a top 10 defense. And I know you got to give Indiana credit, but bombs away from 3. They didn't guard the 3 well against Miami. It's continued here. Points in the paint and the rebounds are killing them. I thought this was a tough team, especially with Allen down low and Mobley. Those putbacks on those rebounds, the putback to make it a 5-point game in Game 2 didn't box out, and then they got the offensive rebound on the missed free throw, and Halliburton hit the 3.
You have the advantage rebounding, and the last game, the 2 bigs had 4 or 5 rebounds between them. Insane.
Yeah.
Insane. And I'm going to tell you something. If Brian Winters said this on my show today, if Indiana keeps playing like they have today, Paulie, what are the odds to win the title? He goes, Indiana can win the title. They could beat the Knicks, and they could beat whoever comes out of the West.
I totally agree.
True story. The way they're playing right now, the way they're playing right now is insane. They're making their shots.
Yep.
They're making their threes. The Cavs are not making their threes. Cavaliers' success this year, guys, has been built on making their threes during the regular season. I think it's 40-something percent to 20-something percent for the threes. Mm-hmm. And that's the NBA today. It's not like, these kids aren't going to the paint anymore. There's no mid-range jumpers. If you hit your threes, you win. If you don't, you lose. Ask the Boston Celtics about that. Come on.
Pacers are plus 750 at draft. They were 125-1 in April. I saw the tickets. I mean, it's wild what's happening here.
Playing really well.
Yeah.
Confluence of things. Cavs injuries, softness, and the Pacers are playing really well right now. It happens. But I'm going to tell you, this city's sick. They're sick. I'm here at the arena tonight. Okay, guys. And it's the Cavs fans will come through tonight and everything. You can't go down 41 points, Paulie, at halftime. You ever seen that in your life?
No, this would to really drive the stake through your heart here. This would only be the third time that a team wins 64 plus games and can't even make the conference finals as well. I know. I'm sorry about that, kid. So you made a good point off air, and you went through this as well with the nonsense with the lottery last night, and you can share the story of a family member as well. So you were there, and he's from the Believe Land documentary and also the movie Draft Day, our friend Tony Rizzo. So they had a 1.8% chance when LeBron left. Oh, convenient. They got the number one pick. Then he's coming back to Cleveland from, the Cavs get the number one pick again. So you know how this kind of works out with these compelling stories, how it goes their way, and the 14-year-old sitting up there like David Kahn said. What do you make last night out of Dallas? 1.8% chance, and it just sets up for Nico Harris, and he keeps his job now.
Guys, I make this. They don't want teams tanking. NBA doesn't want teams tanking. They want the teams that Midland tank, that sign a bad contract, but they're still competitive. You're 1, 2, 3. Third year in a row, the worst team in the league got the 5th pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Like, that is by design. The league is anti-tanking. And I'm not going to say they were happy for the Mavs. I know everybody thinks it's fixed. It's not, okay? My daughter works for the Mavs, okay? It was a great day for them. They lost Luka and got, the flag. They captured the flag. So, not going to lie.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they don't want you tanking. You stay somewhat competitive and have a chance in the lottery, and there's a chance to win. I think they need to show this publicly.
There it is.
How this works.
There it is.
Yes.
Well said.
So it's behind the scenes. That's why everybody thinks it's so fixed. Show us the ping pong balls. Show us what's going on. Show us who wins and how they win legitimately, and then no one can have a question about it.
I agree. I don't care how boring it is. You have to do that, or all this stuff's going to continue, like this 1% BS and the crap that's happened going back as well. He has the number one selling jersey. Tell us about Sanders Mania.
Good kid. Mike, you're going to die, Michael. I think he can play. But here's the problem. Hold on. Here's the problem. Shedeur is a guy that's not going to look good at the combine. He doesn't have a tight spiral. He doesn't have outstanding traits. He's not big, fast. He's not in games. He wins games. He's a game manager. And I don't know if he's going to be able to prove that in this preseason. Guys, the Browns have 4 quarterbacks. Flacco, Pickett, Dillon, Gabriel, and Shedeur. How are you going to get everybody a real chance to win the job in training camp? It's mathematically impossible. And what the feeling is Flacco and Pickett will not play in the preseason. The kids will, and they'll figure it out. But that's a really tough spot to be in for the Browns. And they're looking to next year. I've seen these drafts, all these kids, the South Carolina kid, the Arch Manny's not coming out. Paulie, can we agree he's going to play another year? His uncle, Peyton, played another year at Tennessee. He's not going to play 1 year. So is that quarterback class everything everybody thought? I don't know. We'll see. Yep. You can't put your eggs in next year's basket. I think that's very risky.
Are you going to London?
Of course. Taking a plane full of people. Okay. 200. We have a chartered flight to go to London. True Fan Travel. Great company. And we're going to London. I'm actually going to Ireland next month for another trip. But we're going to London. And week 5, my prediction was, ready for this guy? Sanders comes in week 5 and leads the Brown on a win streak and starts in London. How fun would that be?
That'd be great for you. You need some positive stuff there. Factory of Sadness. All right, Gloomy Gus. Great to talk to you. We'll see you this weekend.
What do you mean gloomy? What?
You said it's over.
I'll see you at the Circa swim, the stadium swim Sunday. Stop.
You got it. All right, you got my number. Thank you.
All right, guys.
And Palm's got the comp waiting for you, too. All right.
Tony Rizzo, +1.
He says he's down. Well, he's right about how with the point spread, laying 8. But I like what you said. They outplayed them till the meltdown in Game 2, and they went there and kicked their ass in Game 3. Game 4, you throw out. You couldn't match their intensity. Mitchell, it was an all-timer. They had 80 points. You couldn't score. Mitchell got hurt, whatever.
Well, they had a perfect second quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, would they make their last 11 jumpers or whatever?
But Indiana was 53% from three in game one. You still came back and had the lead till they made all the plays in the fourth.
What if they win tonight and they win Thursday? Is he flying back to Cleveland for Game 7?
Yeah, he better.
All right, so tentative for Stadium Swim on Sunday.
Absolutely.
We will show the game if you want to stay here. Somebody else can take your post, Tony.
Rapid fire with MLB in play and the 3 playoff games tonight. 2 in the NBA, 1 in the NHL. Plethora of props as well coming up on Follow the Money. VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, Sirius XM Channel 158.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Back on Follow the Money, Sirius XM Channel 158. Paulie Howard, Mike Palm in pocket coming up every Tuesday at this time. It's the King in the North, Derek Stevens, owner of Circa, the D, and Golden Gate, joins us now to chop it up and talk shop. How you doing, King?
Good. How you doing?
All right, my man.
I feel awkward. I'm in Mitch's seat. Usually on Tuesdays, I'm over there.
You got it through your curveball.
Mike's kind of mixing us up here.
I moved quickly.
Aha.
How about the news today? How well did you know Pete Rose and maybe a Rose story that he's now off the ban list and eligible for the Hall of Fame?
I met Pete Rose at Cashman Field. He would come out. He'd watch a couple, 2-3 games a year back when I owned the AAA team here. He'd sit up there and come out with some different people. Never stopped shaking hands and talking to people. But that ended up becoming what he was doing for a job. You remember, he sat at the Forum shops,
sign all day,
6 hours a day.
I know,
sign whatever you want. He's making a pretty good little score there. I only knew him obviously much later. By then, he was clearly a different guy than when he was playing and all that. He was a pretty humbled guy, I would say. But he was always very friendly to every kid he ever saw, and friendly to everybody that I was ever around. And then, I would say a little time went by, and then when we opened up Circa, Mike, we got to see him and Barry were pretty good buddies. And Pete would come here for dinner pretty often. So he was at Circa quite a bit in our first few years we were open.
Yeah, he was around for the Maddox events as well. And so it was nice getting to speak, very open with the public. Anybody who wanted to talk to him, get an autograph or take a picture. We're just about a month away from the College World Series. I know this is a big deal for you. About 10 years ago, remember Derek said Super Regional Weekend will become bigger than the first week of the NCAA tournament. Now, obviously, the NCAA tournament started to peter out, and there isn't as much interest. So that
could be coming what happened today. That happened this year, right? 2025. So I think that it's getting closer, Mike.
But you've got a crew out there today from VSiN and from Circa.
We do.
Scouting it out. How excited are you for taking the whole town of Las Vegas out there with you to Omaha?
Good. We got Rami Wilbot, the Bill 80 miles out there. They're all checking it out.
Unbelievable.
They're at Rocco's. They're checking out all the technical situation and make sure everything works out good.
This is the spot.
That's
with
the
the Jello shots, and they keep track with the track.
You're actually in the Jello shot room. You are.
Oh my God!
You had Mitch are in the Jello shot room.
This would be better than when you went to Phoenix Super Bowl and did the show.
And then we got Stormy and JVT going out there, right? So
all right.
So it should be good. So they're all out there checking it out. I'm getting texts from everybody about how it looks, how everything looks real good. And this year they're actually going to have even a trial Because, Omaha lights itself up here starting a week from today. No, a week from tomorrow, I think. Big Ten tournaments out there. So Big Ten, top 12 teams in the Big Ten make the tournament. So there's a little bit of a battle going on this weekend. It's the last weekend of the season. Top 12 make it, and they all go to Omaha because that's where the Big Ten tournament is.
Mm-hmm. Iowa's in the mix. They're a good team this year.
Yeah, they are. I think they're probably going to be one or two, probably two. I know the guys out there are saying, boy, if they could get Iowa against Nebraska, it's going to sell out. They'll have 25,000 people at Schwab. So that kind of sets the table for what happens College World Series a couple weeks later. So.
All right. The trip is booked. We'll be out there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You might go me through withdrawals because that's the U.S. Open as well. You're not going to do with your in-play with the golf, which you love to bet now.
Yeah, but fortunately, remember where we are in Omaha. There's no gambling in Nebraska, yet there's more gamblers per capita than probably any other city in America. But you just got to go. You just got to go down the road a little bit, and you're in Iowa. So we're going to have a shuttle bus to take you over.
Oh, beautiful!
Over, yeah. We'll put a beer in your hand. We'll take a little shuttle bus. You go over here. You go make your bet. Then you come back to Rocco's.
All right. How about a tease? How about a hint? The announcement next Thursday, you, Benson, and Mike Palm, as you're going to tell us what the contests are going to be, the changes in the guarantee.
Yeah, the last couple of days we've been kind of sweating out all these leaks. Just got to make sure nothing crazy happened. But so far, it all sounds good. I mean, you're going to have that triple header. You got the triple header on Christmas, so that's a real good thing. We probably know who the first two games are if they flip-flop them like they did last year, but we don't know that for sure. It may not be the case. Lot of television stuff. I mean, this YouTube exclusive from Brazil, so that's happening. So far everything seems to be falling in line. We have to wait till we officially know tomorrow. Because you have to make a couple last minute, rule adjustments and submit them to gaming. So I think everything's so far so good.
Okay.
You made a comment when the opener came out, Cowboys-Eagles, that might be a heavily used game in Survivor if the Eagles weren't a part of any of the Thanksgiving or Christmas. Well, now we also know the Eagles are Black Friday, so they might be a part of that Thanksgiving window, depending on the rules.
Yeah. It was interesting with the opening. That look ahead line on Philly is what was that a 7, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think we've seen a 7 in a while, and you never know how spring or summer camp's going to go. I mean, the Eagles could go off anywhere from maybe a 5 up to a 10, depending on how things look. If you got a 10. That might make you think about the Eagles. Remember, we had that rule we implemented a couple years ago that you could go in with a maximum number of entries into the Sunday. So, that's something that may come into play more this year than in years past.
It was in play, and I think a lot of people may have used them, but now you got the Eagles on the Black Friday game.
Yeah.
That kind of throws a wrench into things.
Depending on what else is on Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, well, a couple things are going to happen now. I mean, the Chiefs lobbied for 2 decades to be Thanksgiving Day game, the last game, and they were always turned down. But I think what's happened now is the Chiefs had been lobbying for 2 decades for that. The Chiefs have now locked themselves into Christmas. They're going to own Christmas just like the way the Cowboys and Lions have for a long, long time. I mean, the Lions, I don't know how many years, 6 decades or something like that. And how long have the Cowboys been doing it now? 40 years probably?
Since the 70s for sure.
Yeah, I just watched 50s. America's Sweethearts, and they talked about it. How big deal. That was a great series, by the way. I enjoyed that.
56.
Hard knocks for the cheerleaders.
Well, back. Thanks, Luke. Chiefs 4.5 against Denver on Christmas. The other takeaway I had was some of the games. Where are the Lions?
Yeah.
Are you shocked? We haven't seen in all these marquee games. We haven't seen. There's plenty of Bears. There's Packers. Where's the Lions?
Yeah, I mean, the Lions got the toughest schedule in the NFL this year, so I was really hoping they wouldn't get called out for an international. Fortunately, Lions have one of the. There's a good post on X today about the travel schedule. Do you see this? The Chargers 34,000 miles, the most amount of miles of any team in history. Lions are at like 8,000 miles, so they're like at the very bottom of the travel schedule. So I'm glad they're not going too far away for too many of these games. But I think the Lions are clearly going to be on, I would guess, at least 4 national TV games. You know it's going to be Thanksgiving. So. You're probably going to get a Monday night. You're probably going to get a Sunday night. You're probably going to get maybe a Thursday, but it's got to be at least 4, I would say.
Man, I'll go over 4.
It'd probably be over 4.
I'll go over 4. You hosted the watch party for Game 4 for the Golden Knights at Edmonton last night.
Yeah.
Do the Knights have a chance in this series, or is it time for Las Vegas to turn its eyes towards those aces?
Well, they looked terrible last night, but I would say it's funny. Stoke came back and they were just out of it. You never know. These games in many ways are coin flips to me. What do you think about the goalie change? I mean, since the goalie change, obviously something different's happened with Edmonton.
Well, I mean, but that was necessitated by injury. The interesting thing is, if Picard is healthy, do you take Skinner out? He's won every game since you put him in. So we'll see how game 5 goes in Las Vegas.
The best player in the series, man, Carlson, in my opinion, which we haven't seen that in a little while. Carlson, and he's been there. Stone's been a little beat up, so he hasn't done that much.
Well, they certainly didn't put much pressure on Edmonton last night.
Jonathan Davis, he got the shutout. He was only 3rd star of the night. He didn't see any rubber. I mean, it was incredible.
Hey, you guys watch the Padre Angel game last night?
He had,
Okay, I'm sorry. I figured he was already talking about
it. He needed that.
Oh, did he?
He needed that.
Crazy.
There was
4 walks. Get him out of there.
4 walks?
What are you doing?
And then you got a pinch hit grand slam from a guy hitting below 200. Unbelievable.
We needed that to knock a parlay out. The Padres were the last leg.
Okay.
Same
Give
deal.
Mike a raise then.
Yeah.
All right. Go all in. Circa Las Vegas, the ultimate getaway package. Just $400. 2-night stay at Circa. $100 dining credit. $100 beverage credit. And your own day bed at Stadium Swim where the party never stops. What a deal. $400. Valid through May 26th and September 4th. Lock it in now. The all-in summer package. CircaLasVegas.com. We'll see you next week. Can't wait to talk about the schedule tomorrow. Thanks a lot, Mr. Stevens. In Pocket, what we're betting coming up next.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.